Today we continue with the eighth way to pray. The eighth way to pray is Eucharistic Adoration. In the end, there's no more powerful way to pray than to pray before Jesus in the Blessed Sacrament, to spend time in adoration. As Catholics, we believe that when the bread is consecrated during the Mass, it becomes the body, blood, soul, and divinity of Jesus. And so we put this consecrated bread, this body of Jesus, into a tabernacle, and we keep it there. And we also expose the host. And we do this through Eucharistic Adoration. There's a variety of ways to do this. And we also do this by putting the host in a monstrance. And really, there's no more powerful way to pray than Eucharistic Adoration. And spending consistent time with Jesus in adoration will have a profound effect on your spiritual life. This has been proven over and over again. It's a great gift that Jesus has given us, given the church, and that we can adore him in this consecrated bread that becomes his body. And so silent prayer, or interiorly praying, interiorly speaking to and uniting your heart with Jesus while praying in adoration, was the key to the spiritual lives of so many saints. When you look at the lives of the saints, many of them have this pattern where they spent long hours in front of Jesus in the Eucharist. And in fact, a lot of people do. They spend an hour. They call it a holy hour, and where they spend an hour with Jesus in the Eucharist. I like to tell people that while it's wonderful to spend an hour, if you spend 2 hours, something different will happen than if you just spend 1 hour. And if you spend 3 hours, something different will happen than if you spend 2 hours. Because as you kind of enter into this adoration or radiation therapy, if you will, your heart just becomes more open, your mind becomes more clear, you're able to leave the distractions behind, you're able to relax, you're able to rest, you're able to place yourself in a context that you can start to hear God's voice. So if you never tried an hour, try an hour. If you never tried 2 hours, try 2. If you never tried 3, try 3 hours, and I am sure you will not be disappointed. When we pray in adoration, it's a chance to share your heart with Jesus, and it's a chance to allow him to speak to your mind, to speak to your conscience, to speak to your heart. And it's just this direct communication with him. And many experience intimacy in this, spiritual intimacy with Jesus, through spending time with him in adoration. And in addition to that, it's also an opportunity to bring him your needs, to bring him the decisions that you're looking at in your life at that time, to bring him your family, your friends, to bring him other needs in the world. It's a time to bring that all to him, to bring it forth to him in an intercessory way in Eucharistic adoration. Many Catholic churches have opportunities for adoration. Some have hours during the week. Some have perpetual adoration. Here at our parish, we have adoration available 24/7. We have a little adoration chapel, and it's wonderful to have that. We also do 3 hours of adoration on Wednesdays and 3 hours of adoration on Fridays at the Chapel of the Holy Cross. And in that case, we bring out the monstrance, and it's a special time to adore Jesus. And so I encourage you, wherever you are, to try to find that in your area. And sometimes parishes will ask you to commit for an hour a week, or even multiple times a week if you're able to. And it's a wonderful thing to do. There was a pope a while back. His name was St. Pius X. He was known as the Pope of the Eucharist. And he said this, he said, devotion to the Eucharist is the noblest of devotions because it has God as its object. It is the most profitable for salvation because it gives us the author of grace. It is the sweetest because the Lord is sweetness itself. And so it's true. It's true. As St. Pius X said, Eucharistic adoration is noble, it's profitable, and it's sweet. St. John Bosco had a famous saying where he said this. He asked these questions. He says, do you want the Lord to give you many graces? Visit him often. Do you want him to give you few graces? Visit him rarely. Do you want the devil to attack you? Visit Jesus rarely in the Blessed Sacrament. Do you want him to flee from you? Visit Jesus often. Do you want to conquer the devil? Take refuge often at the feet of Jesus. Do you want to be conquered by the devil? Forget about visiting Jesus. My dear ones, the visit to the Blessed Sacrament is an extremely way to conquer the devil. Therefore, go often to visit Jesus, and the devil will not come out victorious against you. So these are very wise words by St. John Bosco. We want to visit him often. We want to take refuge at his feet. And we want to let him protect us from all spiritual attack. And by going to him consistently in the Blessed Sacrament, in the Eucharistic Chapel, even just before a tabernacle, if that's what's available to you. Many, many graces will come through that. And so this is our 8th way of praying Eucharistic adoration.